Hello mga students, magandang umaga, magandang hapon at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. Narito na naman po tayo para pag-usapan ang isa na naman sa mga assets, non-operating assets or non-current operating assets, which is intangible assets. So this will be from the perspective of auditing this particular item. Pag-usapan po natin yung mga audit assertions, objectives, and audit procedures particular to this type of asset. However, I will not discuss separately yung mga internal controls over this intangible assets because yung discussion doon sa property, plant, and equipment na internal controls ay similar sa pag audit or in the discussion of the internal controls for this type of asset. Okay, again, we will be coming from the different assertions in discussing yung audit objectives and the related audit procedures. So this will be brief, no, unlike the other recordings. But to begin, okay, unlike your property, plant, and equipment, alam naman po natin that by intangible assets, meron tayong nawawala dito, and that is your physical substance. Okay? Kung hindi ito nakikita, paano natin ito i-audit? Hindi naman kailangan na makita natin yung isang bagay para ma-audit natin ito. Okay? So, merong way para ma-test natin itong particular asset. Yun nga lang, syempre, since intangible assets are lacking in physical substance, yung value nila will be based on the rights and economic advantages afforded in their ownership. So for example, ang mga authors ng libro or other literary instruments, okay, so they will have to take advantage of the ownership of those books or literary instruments, and syempre by prohibiting as well others from copying their compositions. Okay, now because of the intangible nature, itong mga assets na ito ay mahirap i-identify. Unlike yung property, plant, and equipment that you can do physical inspection, punta tayo kung nasaan ito. Pag intangible assets, nasaan, ba't di ko makita? So, we have to test, syempre, At the end of an accounting period, they will be provided by the client and they will be representing that these are the balances as to intangible assets. So we have to perform audit procedures of focusing on existence and valuation. Now, whenever client treats an expenditure as creating an intangible asset, anong sabi dito, the auditor must look for objective evidence that a genuine asset has come into existence. Now, let us discuss from the perspective of financial accounting and reporting. PAS 38 is the standard that covers intangible assets. And if you recall, from your other accounting subjects on intermediate accounting, meron tayong sinasabi doon na research and development. If you are internally generating an intangible asset, medyo may maselan tayo na assessment doon. We have to identify the research phase from the development phase. Pero hindi lang basta-basta ganun. Once na na-identify mo na yung development phase, hindi ibig sabihin na lahat ng mga expenses mo doon ay may capitalize na. We have to reach the capitalization criteria at kailangang masatisfy natin lahat ng criteria na yon. Hindi lang isa, hindi lang dalawa, or hindi lang tatlo. Kung hindi, lahat ng na-mention sa IAS 38 as to the capitalization criteria. So yun lang yung challenge. So kung ang ating kliyente, yung ino-audit natin ay merong sinasabi na meron kaming mga expenditure for a particular intangible asset. So we have to find an objective evidence na meron nga talagang na-recognize na asset. And it should follow the requirement of the standard. Okay. So dito nakalatag na lahat ng mga assertions, audit objectives, and audit procedures. But let us begin with existence or occurrence. So ang objective po natin dito is syempre to determine that an intangible asset exists and are represented. Of course, meron tayong separate na discussion sa rights and obligation, pero since we cannot physically inspect or I mean, hindi natin makikita itong mga assets na ito. So, titignan po natin, meron ba talagang contractual rights si client? May privileges ba siya na receive or meron siyang earning power na pagmamay-ari arising from this particular asset. So, ano yung mga gagawin natin dyan? Una, we will, of course, ito standard na audit procedure natin for any type of assets, obtain an analysis of ledger accounts for intangibles. Okay? So, syempre, balances. Requesting from the client, pahingi po ako ng GL ng intangible assets at syempre yung supporting lists coming from the subsidiary ledger. Breakdown. Okay? So the auditor may begin with the substantiation of intangible assets. With the analysis of the ledger accounts for these assets, the balance should be traced to the general ledger. Syempre, since we are comparing when we do audit, we also have a prior period balance. So dapat yun po ay based sa audited balances from last year. Number 2, examine documentation supporting intangibles to validate the existence of this particular asset. So the auditor can do what? Examine yung mga legal documents. Okay? Halimbawa, merong patent si client o meron ba siyang patent registration? Meron ba siyang ginawang application at approved na ba yun? Okay? Coming from the Intellectual Property Office. Meron ba siyang prangkisa? Okay? Or meron siyang nire-recognize na franchise sa libro? O meron ba siyang franchise na na-receive? Okay? Merger agreements or corporate articles of incorporation to prove existence of rights and economic advantage. So, yun nga lang, at this point, you have to identify different types of intangible assets. Meron kang copyright, meron kang patent, meron kang franchise, ano pa. Of course, separate din yung goodwill, because we have we separate goodwill from intangible assets because kung ang intangible assets ay identifiable, yung goodwill naman ay unidentifiable. Okay. Next, as to completeness, floor to list. Okay? We will, perform some audit procedures to determine that all transactions related to intangibles have been properly recorded if they are indeed items of intangible assets, So dapat nakalibro 'yon. Baka mamaya sa pag-inspect natin ng mga supporting documents, syempre kung sa PPE meron kang additions, meron kang disposals, ganun din naman po dito, Kaya nga you will observe something common between property, plant and equipment, intangible assets, even investment property and yung mga leases, Pag tinignan po ninyo ang notes to the financial statement sa kanilang disclosure, lapsing schedule, movement, beginning, tapos addition, disposal, you have your ending. Ang pinagkaiba nga lang ng intangible assets sa PPE, for one, kung may depreciation si PPE, intangible assets tawag natin ay amortization. We will proceed there momentarily. But we will do the same. We have to vouch additions or acquisitions during the year. And then, we will also have to evaluate yung mga dispositions. And kung sakaling meron tayong mga impairment, no, dapat meron tayong i-write off during the year. Okay? So, eto lang, no. Sa iyong, syempre, if you are coming from a T account, di ba? Normal balance ng intangible asset ay debit. So, kung meron tayong mga additions, it should be debited. Kung meron tayong mga deductions, it should be credited. So, lahat ng debits, okay, sa account na yan, should be traced to what? Mga documentary evidence, no? Of the right benefit acquired. May ni-register ako, patent application, no? Meron tayong franchise agreement, either give, agreed between a private entity or through with the government, no? As well as to cash records for the payments. Siyempre, although not all the time cash records for the payment, kasi sometimes you can acquire an intangible asset by some other mode of payment, not necessarily by cash. Pwedeng exchange of another asset or even by way of government grant, di ba? If that will apply. So, not necessarily, pero most of the time, nagkakaroon tayo ng recognition ng intangible asset by way of purchase. Okay? Pwedeng cash basis or on an installment. Okay? So if you are to inspect yung mga cash records, titingnan natin yung mga check payments na cancel na ba yun. Kasi ibig sabihin nun, naibayad na natin ito doon sa other party. Yun nga lang, no, for internally developed assets. Ayan. So ito dinidevelop natin. So we are on the research and development phase. The auditor must vouch evidence of cost incurred in their development. As mentioned earlier, no? Kung na-satisfy niya, na-meet niya yung capitalization criteria, titignan natin yung mga documents for measurement, no? Proper recognition ng cost of material, labor, and overhead, yung mga capitalizable items. Okay. Amortization. Kung sa depreciation, we calculate independently. Ganun din naman, na bago lang yung pangalan. But we do the same performance audit procedures. No? Reconcile, recompute, para matignan natin yung reasonableness ng mga balances. Kung meron man po tayong kailangang i-write off because nagkaroon tayo ng maaring tayong naka-observe or si client yung naka-observe and therefore reflected na sa kanilang libro. Nagkaroon ba talaga ng impairment? So, meron ba tayong mga indicators for impairment? No? Write-off should be traced to appropriate authorization or minutes of meetings. Siyempre, hindi naman yan basta-basta ini-entryhan lang ng accounting. Napag-uusapan din yan in the minutes of the board of directors. No? O yung ating prangkisa, kunwari, from the standpoint or from the perspective of ABS-CBN, no? From the previous years during the time of Duterte presidency, no? O hindi tayo nabigyan ng prangkisa, no? Anong mangyayari? O, pinag-uusapan niya ng board. Okay? So, the auditor should inspect the board of directors minutes of meetings for any discussions, approvals in relation to this particular asset. The auditor should also inquire if there is any change in the estimated period to be benefited. Tandaan po ninyo, hindi naman lahat ng mga intangible assets ay indefinite. Meron tayong mga intangible assets na finite yung useful life and therefore may hangganan. So, syempre, in terms of amortization, edi dapat, kung halimbawa, 20 years yan, edi 20 years lang dapat natin yung i-amortize. Pero, we have to inquire, we have to ask, sa assessment nyo po ba, maintain pa rin 20 years or 15 years na lang, or nagkaroon ba ng change in the estimated period kung saan magbe-benefit kayo sa asset na yon. Okay? So, yan po yung mga gagawin sa para ma-assess natin yung representation ng client as to the assertion on completeness. Next, rights and obligation. So we perform audit procedures to determine that intangible assets are owned by the company. Intangible assets being assets. No? So ito pa rin, rights. So in addition to audit procedure number 2, ano po ba yung number 2? Ito, examine documentation supporting intangibles. So aside from inspecting your documentations, no, supporting documents, ano pa ang pwedeng gawin? The auditor can perform analytical procedures, no, focusing on research and development expense, R&D. Kasi syempre, alam naman po natin, no, from the FAR perspective, research and development cost, if hindi mo ito pwedeng, kung hindi mo kaya paghiwalayin, the R&D as one item ay expense sa profit or loss. So, we can perform analytical procedures to compare current year with that of prior year and even yung mga budgeted amounts. Kasi kung may mga material movement, significant changes, no, yung variances noted. Halimbawa, last year, 100,000 lang yung R&D ko. Bakit biglang lumobo to 500,000? Ano bang nangyari? Kasi parang wala namang significant changes. Pero bakit yung expenses lumobot, naging times 5? So, baka meron tayong ma-discover doon. Especially if wala namang hindi kayang explain ni client bakit biglang lumobo or nagkaroon ng sudden changes doon sa mga balances when you compare it from prior period. So, yung following reasonableness testing may be done on amortization cost. Amortization comparing last year at saka this year. Ratio ng amortization to an amortized balance. Okay? For the current and then the prior year. Etong mga procedures na ito may identify improperly recorded purchases. O baka mamaya may namali tayong purchases. And write-off of intangible assets, as well as erroneous recording of amortization. Ganito lang yan eh. Meron kang purchases, dapat in-expense mo, pero kinapitalize. Or meron kang mga purchases na ika-capitalize dahil na-satisfy niya yung capitalization criteria for, halimbawa, internally generated or internally developed tangible assets. Or kaya naman, by way of acquisition, dapat ika-capitalize mo siya. Pero na-expense. No? Pagdating sa amortization, mali yung computation or hindi naman kasi dapat ika-capitalize pero kinapitalize and then suddenly nag-amortize ka na hindi mo dapat ina-amortize for subsequent period because on the first year, kung kailan in-acquire, expense mo na dapat yung lahat. So, things like this can be discovered by way of analytical procedures. So, yung audit must also evaluate whether any current events or circumstances warrant revision. Ano yan, sir? Change in accounting policy or change in accounting estimate? Oh, you answer my question. You should know na pag may mga changes in, halimbawa, depreciation method, changes in the estimates, ano ba yun? Accounting policy changes or accounting estimate changes in accordance with PAS 8 or IAS 8. All right. Evaluate amortization policy and amortization period for valuation and allocation. Of course, we want to address here na yung mga intangibles are stated at costless amortization. If we are following your cost method. Although, syempre, if you are using revaluation method, ganun pa rin naman, revalued amount less, syempre, amortization and any accumulated impairment losses. Nag-amortize pa rin naman tayo even by revaluation model. Yun nga lang, we measure it at the revalued amount. So, whether cost model or revaluation model ka, we have to assess that the intangibles are stated at cost or the revalued amount less yung amortization appropriate. So, aside doon sa procedure number 3 and 4, itong vouching and evaluation ng disposition and write-off, what can we do more? What else can we do? Now, verify natin yung computation ng amortization, which is the same procedures that you can do sa depreciation. Okay? You don't need to test it 100%. You can do it on a test basis. Pero kung kukonti lang naman, pwede naman. Okay? And then lastly, presentation and disclosure. So we want to determine whether yung presentation tama, disclosure, lahat for intangible assets ay sapat. And syempre, in accordance with IAS 38. So yan, evaluation ng FS, presentation and disclosure. Ano gagawin ni auditor? Of course, no, re-review mo yung ginawa na FS ni client. So, in terms of your intangible assets, proper ba yung disclosure and the notes to the financial statements? Tumutugma ba yung mga balanse doon sa balance sheet papunta doon sa mga disclosures? At kung sakaling meron tayong mga pledging or ginamit natin as security for a loan, kung sakaling kinakailangan natin ng mga contingencies, halimbawa nagkaroon ng mga kaso-kaso about patent infringement suits. So, meron ba tayong mga possible contingencies? Kasi baka mamaya meron tayong mga contingent assets or contingent liabilities. So, inquiry with management will help, no? Or not only with management, but even with legal counsel for potential contingencies na kailangang i-disclose. The disclosure should also follow the disclosure requirements on items like amortization method use, yung gross carrying amount, any accumulated amortization, reconciliation ng carrying amount at the beginning and end of the current period, among others. Which is, syempre, presented naman sa IAS 38, no? Pero syempre, it is not, itemized by, in this video recording. Okay? So, yun lamang po, ang ating discussion for this particular account. Let me know if you have any questions, ha? So, I will now end this recording. Maraming salamat.